There is a struggle in the legacy of the Amazing Atheist. On one hand are the somewhat serious ideas he's promoted. On the other hand is the banana incident.
You don't want to watch it?
No.
You don't even want to see the poop on his...
No, I don't want to see anything about that guy ever.
And then you get the stuff in between.
Hello, I'm the Joker.
Thomas James Kirk, or TJ Kirk for short, throughout his 20 years online has survived in the YouTube environment by being embroiled in conversations around religion, the anti-SJW movement that he describes himself as being a catalyst of, and the heavily chaotic moments or just out-of-place spaces he finds himself in.
TJ Kirk calls himself the Amazing Atheist. Welcome to all of you.
From his appearance on CNN to a fundraising livestream that is remembered for anything but fundraising. The lore of TJ is so prevalent that even J.K. Rowling knows about the banana. Even so, there is more to uncover in the chaos that is a history of the Amazing Atheist. The story of the Amazing Atheist starts with his lesser-known alias, Terroja, an alias and website that appears to be an expansive outlet of TJ's. Its oldest Wayback Machine screenshot dates all the way back to 2004. Here, he would display some of his Microsoft Paint art, or just some posts of his thoughts. Quote, "I am vulgar. I think bad thoughts, and more often than not, I shit them forth from my mouth with all the enthusiasm of an overpaid whore on ecstasy. What's worse, I usually say them when in mixed company, or when speaking to one with fragile ears, and a fragile mind in between them." Unquote. TJ also had a section of the website dedicated to poetry, and was a big fan of Marilyn Manson, and so much of this website mimics Manson's style. It's not so much the website Terroja that brings concern, it is what the user Terroja stated in a Marilyn Manson fan forum in 2006. Quote, "Having pedophilic attractions doesn't mean you automatically go out and start redacting kids. From the time I was 14 to the time I was about 19, I used to have extreme pedophilic fantasies, and I somehow managed to never even come close to acting on them. I think with my brain, not my penis. I think the difference in punishment between child rapists and child molesters should be more significant, with molesters perhaps simply attending mandatory therapy for their first offense. I also think that the age of sexual consent should be lowered to 12 or 13. Unquote. This is only a single archive post of a longer conversation that has not been archived, and there's always the chance that this wasn't TJ's profile, or was hacked or someone usurped the name Terroja. Though there exist other forms of evidence that TJ was predisposed to this sort of thing, it hardly ever goes beyond screenshots that can also be altered or entirely fabricated. But one thing is verifiable: TJ was not a pleasant person.
Well, I guess since we've never met, it'd be proper to start with an introduction. My name is T.L. Kincaid. I'm 21 years of age. I know I look a little older. I'm basically your average, everyday person, I guess. You know, aside from the, insanity and actual IQ and the triple digits, I guess, whatever. Unlike most atheists, I have not even the faintest ambition of changing anyone's mind. I'm not interested in...
That was TJ's first YouTube video, one filmed in 2006 set in his garage.
I went on YouTube and I made a horrible fucking video that is just wretched in every way. And, I walk around my garage talking in this monotone voice like this.
As TJ expressed, his 21-year-old self lacks self-awareness, or perhaps was too arrogant.
Because back then I felt like I had nothing to learn. I felt like I already knew it all.
Whatever the case, TJ deleted this video perhaps out of embarrassment or the fact that he said racial slurs. TJ was not the sort of person to hide things, and more so cover his bases as YouTube would grow increasingly displeased with his presence. For now, he already had a handful of fans that existed even prior to his first video.
I was already being like a fucking asshole atheist troll to people in like internet forums and stuff. So a bunch of people, they liked the way I wrote. Mm-hmm. They told me I should take I should take it on YouTube, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
And with that, the Amazing Atheist was born.
I guess I turned to my audience as sort of my therapy, or at least I used to do that. Kind of how I started off on YouTube, just talking about what was inside of me, what I was feeling, what I was thinking.
Now, let me ask you a question. If you had to go all the way to this book, or all the way to atheism, our side, which would you choose? I think most of them would probably choose us. I would hope most of them would choose us. We do seem to be the morally superior choice.
And I didn't really care if people liked it or agreed with it, or they didn't like it or they didn't agree with it.
Let's defend these three things that you have decried, okay? Basically incest, polygamy, cannibalism. Yes, I'm going to defend all three.
This was early TJ, a mix of passion and indifference. He really did not care what his audience thought. Whether they liked what he was saying or hated it, he just wanted to get his stuff out there, sometimes for the sake of angering people or just getting a message out.
Well, you know what? There may be 1 billion Catholics, but there's more atheists in the world than there are Catholics.
That was a video addressing Pope Benedict's statement that atheism has brought great cruelty. TJ counters this through a montage of the cruelties committed by the Catholic Church with a song by Marilyn Manson playing in the background. With such serious subject matters being discussed, what could be his follow-up video?
Wish I had to kill. I was trained on Shadowville's battlefield. Wish I had to kill. I was trained on Shadowville's.
Now that Lotion Dispenser Tron is dead, we're safe. Nothing bad could happen now. I am an evil government agent come to take your friends away. But he's my friend. Oh, okay.
That was TJ's parody on the Transformers movies titled Transformers 5. At 7 million views, this stands as his most popular video ever. And no matter what TJ uploaded, what thought he put out into the ether, it could not beat this 2-minute video. Following this chain of videos, from addressing the Pope's statements to a parody of the Transformers movies, nothing could prepare TJ's audience for his next video.
Hey everybody, Amazing Atheist here. I just got back from the hospital. To make a long story short, my father died tonight. I probably won't be around for a while. The only reason I'm making this video now is because I really just don't know what else to fucking do with myself.
TJ was using YouTube for various reasons, but at the top was still expression.
When I first started making content on YouTube, I was just an angry loner with no real friends. I'd had friends in the past, of course, here and there, but, you know, either through time or distance, you know, those friendships had eroded. But at the time, the main interest I had was just venting. I didn't have a therapist, I didn't have any friends, I didn't have any family I could talk to except for Scotty. So I just, I used YouTube as a place to vent.
This seeking of community was possibly how the ASU was conceptualized.
This isn't a movement for all YouTube atheists. There will be those of you who want to join more respectable groups that do a lot of talking and not a lot of acting. And there will be those of you who shun the idea of joining a group altogether, and we here at the ASU completely respect and fully support your decision. We are the Black Panthers of the atheist movement.
The ASU, or the Atheist Scum United, appears to be a movement possibly sourced from TJ.
You know, if you're an alienated youth, and there's other alienated youths out there in the world, and, you know, a lot of you are going through similar experiences, having similar interactions, feeling similarly confined by society, you know, that's going to resonate.
The ASU movement, whatever it was, attracted like-minded individuals, some more intense than others.
I was angered that Brett Keane had lied about me and ASU and my cyber pet, the Amazing Atheist.
That was Judalicious threatening a different person known as Brett Keane, who was opposed to whatever the ASU was. Brett Keane also claims that TJ made an alternate YouTube account to launch threats and use racial slurs freely. There are many unsubstantiated claims that float around in this space. But what is true is that TJ and Brett Keane were at odds with each other. Another thing that is also true is whatever this movement was died off rather quickly. Its death sped up as it was spearheaded by unstable individuals. Even so, TJ persisted in content creation, continuing to say whatever was on his mind. And on his mind this day was politician Sarah Palin.
And one of her kids has Down syndrome, and apparently some people think this is a strength. And I mean, I don't want to offend people, because I know a lot of us have people with Down syndrome in our family, myself included, and no one wants to make fun of people with Down syndrome. But here's a fact. People with Down syndrome are not pleasant to look at. America does not want to vote to see some Down syndrome kid day in and day out, and I'm sorry if that offends anyone. It's not my intention. I'm just saying, I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. No one's going to vote for this bitch.
Not all that TJ says is sincere. Citing Marilyn Manson and George Carlin as his inspirations, he sought to be controversial.
I'm not going to be Zarathustra that comes down from the mountain thinking that the people are actually going to listen to me. I'm going to be the fucking asshole, villainous motherfucker that comes down from the mountain and says, fuck you people. So I guess I kind of got that antagonistic attitude from them.
This strategy was working well. That video on Sarah Palin got 2.6 million views and stands as one of his most viewed videos. Though at this point in time, this was par for the course for the more opinionated sections of YouTube. This also began changing in 2008.
This channel has really been my primary source of income since 2008.
Though TJ does not specify if that money came from an early variant of the YouTube Partner Program, the Partner Program was in development, and YouTube knew it had to clean up some of the less advertiser-friendly content that deterred skeptical brands from advertising on their platform.
When YouTube made these changes and said, now we're family friendly, they never grandfathered in the content that was already on YouTube. So people were having, at the time, their channels removed for videos that were old that, you know, followed the rules that YouTube had at that time. So that's, I mean, it's kind of bullshit. You know, you put something up that's not against the rules, and then they change the rules and then retroactively apply it to the content.
The Amazing Atheist was one of these channels.
Amazing Atheist here. If I'm lacking my usual zest and charisma, well, it's probably because I'm a little rusty. Haven't been allowed to access my YouTube account for nearly 2 weeks now, because YouTube decided that 2 of my videos were so very offensive that my account needed to be suspended for 2 weeks. And no matter how much I tried to argue and reason with them, they wouldn't let me back on.
This ban was applied and reverted June of 2009 and possibly influenced TJ's approach to content creation. He started by deleting videos YouTube could strike him for, but he did not plan on them disappearing forever.
But don't worry, because a lot of the videos I took down will be reappearing on my new website, FreeSpeechVids.com, under construction right now.
In 2009, YouTube was hardly the end-all be-all of internet videos. Many creators were hosting their own websites where all their videos could be found, like That Guy with the Glasses, famous for being the home of the nostalgic critic and now the distressed watcher.
A sizable chunk of people know who the fuck I am, what the fuck I do, etc. And I decide I'm going to use that to get on That Guy with the Glasses, because I'm a big nostalgia critic fan. I'm watching his shit all the time. I'm thinking to myself, I want to be on this site.
TJ reveals, nearly a decade later, how much of an understatement this was.
Like the nostalgia critic. There's just there's no way to, you know, present it any other way. It'd be dishonest to. Like, this is Doug.
Hello, I'm the nostalgia critic. I remember it, so you don't have to.
And this is me as the distressed watcher.
Hello, I am the Distressed Watcher. I review the previews and let you know which trailers are failures.
You know, by the way, that haircut that I have there, that was something I specifically got because I was on That Guy with the Glass. I'm like, I need to look more fucking respectable.
While creating content for That Guy with the Glasses, he still held his dreams of making his own website, and for that, he needed money.
I'm going to put a donation link over there, or maybe it'll be over there, I don't know, you know, to the right-hand side of the video. So you can donate there if you want to help.
That was TJ asking for money to repair his current computer or just money to buy a new one. This on the internet is known as e-begging, and is hardly the first instance of TJ doing so. While this is very much a non-issue in the current creator space, in the 2000s, asking for donations or the like was frowned upon. This came from a space that was largely free of monetized content, and the progression towards creators being influenced by monetary gain was a fear brought about by various things, like the fear of being scammed or the regulation of the internet to appease advertisers and create a space with heightened censorship, which TJ was also requesting money to fight against.
Check that fucking check that box, dog. Look, right there up at the top, right there. Fucking second tab. Who fucking donated what?
For a $50,000.
Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you, bitch!
What's his name?
Austin? Who the fuck is Austin? Austin, you a fucking bitch.
That was from a 2009 fundraising livestream on Blog TV for FreeSpeechVids. TJ and his friend, Fake Sagan, were yelling at a viewer for donating a measly $1. This is hardly what the infamous stream is remembered for. Much of the stream cannot be shown, but it can be described. All participants in the livestream are intoxicated through drinking Everclear. These are TJ, his friend Fake Sagan, and his friend Galen, who is allegedly hosting them. A few things happen, like Fake Sagan and TJ making out, drinking a bit more, asking for donations, etc. Then Holly, TJ's significant other, and Ocean, Fake Sagan's significant other, come back from their walk. It is then that Ocean gives Fake Sagan his gun back, as she took it on the walk, assumedly as a deterrent.
You put one in the chamber? Did you put one in the chamber?
Why me? I didn't have to use it.
There is one in the fucking chamber.
This is where the train wreck truly begins. Just 7 minutes after getting his gun back, Fake Sagan unloads a magazine to point out the hollow points that are loaded in, puts the magazine back in, and then cocks the gun. There are some attempts to get the gun away, but those are unsuccessful. And so Fake Sagan uses the weapon as a threat to blow the webcam away if more donations do not come in. Then, he puts the gun up against his dome and shows that the safety is off. Things de-escalate as Galen strategically has to take the place in front of the camera, where a bit after, TJ attempts to take the gun away.
Who is this motherfucker?
Fuck you! Fuck you!
It's the same guy!
Case, just fucking... Case, give me the gun. Ugh. Give me that shit.
No, I'm good. No, don't take this. You ain't trained.
Fake Sagan then tries to be a bit more serious about fundraising and brings up 1984.
I mean, let's say you wake up tomorrow and some 1984 shit. Hold on. It's some 1984 shit. And y'all motherfuckers, you gotta toe the party line. You gotta love Big Brother the way you love yourself. If you even want to have a voice, you want to be heard, right? I mean, do you care about free speech at all?
Fake Sagan gets a bit off track and then starts talking about himself, expressing his insecurities, and as such becomes furious at TJ for what he believes was him scoffing at him.
I'll tell you why right now. I was more interested in fucking getting laid and fucking smoking pot than going to class. I didn't care. I was like, fuck it. This is my life. Why shouldn't I live it the way I want to? I was born in Richmond, Virginia, right? I was broke as shit. I grew up in Connecticut.
Fuck that. This is mine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shut up. Damn.
It's all yours. Fuck you.
What?
I hear he's coughing, dude. Come on.
No, he was coughing.
I found a little fucking chunk.
I'm trying to make some fucking money for you. Come on.
Go on, man. It's cool.
Fine. Then shut the fuck up.
I ain't saying shit. Go ahead.
Alright, listen.
With TJ silenced, Fake Sagan proceeds with a speech where he gets increasingly frustrated at those around him.
Raised in Southington, Connecticut, amongst a bunch of rich-ass motherfuckers who didn't think I was good enough. Who thought, because I couldn't afford the latest fucking shit, the latest fucking fashions from the Gap and motherfuckers, they thought I wasn't fucking good enough. And, Ocean, please.
Shut the fuck up.
Haven't I done enough for you? Please.
Just eat so he can fucking make a speech.
After failing a second time to conduct a moving speech, Fake Sagan flashes his testicles and an unpressed chat. Fake Sagan then tries to bring his gun back on stream. The problem is, he can't find it.
Get off the seat, man. Hold on.
Where's my gun?
I hid that shit because fucking Holly was scared. So.
Where's it at?
I'll tell you tomorrow, man.
Tell me now. I'm afraid.
It's fucking back there somewhere. I don't know.
Where specifically?
It's fucking the two girls. Fucking ask them, man. They saw me do it. If you get out,
Holly Ocean. Where's my gun at?
I don't know.
They saw.
You're lying.
They're lying to you, man.
You're lying. Thinks I'm a fucking punk in this motherfucker. Where's my fucking gun at?
I don't know.
Back behind the barrel.
I can't see right here.
Behind the barrel?
Fuck, if I knew, I would have it in my hand.
You know what's gonna happen if I find out you're lying?
It's behind the barrel.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
With the gun back in fake Sagan's possession, he decides on holstering it. Now the party moves on to checking donations.
$3.33.
Oh, fuck! $100!
Fuck you for $3, you fucking...
$10.
$100 for fake. He got $100.
And... With the party being unhappy with the donations, fake Sagan rearms himself with a flip knife, placing the price to use it on himself to $200. But this is interrupted with him yelling at his girlfriend Ocean to shut up.
You'll see a fucking Grand Canyon across this cheek! Shut up! Shut up! Listen, $200 right now!
Fake Sagan, to prove himself, cuts the back of his hand. But the cut is deeper than he planned as it keeps on bleeding.
I choose liberty!
Just give me this. Holy shit, honey.
I know it's deep.
Fuck this shit up.
Did we have to take him to the hospital?
No, he's good. He's fine, man. He'll be alright.
Don't call 911.
I'm stopping the bleeding.
I don't want them to find what's in my fucking truck.
Cut.
I know it is, but please, please.
I'm not calling the
He said he wants
hospital.
to take care of you so we don't have to, honey.
About 6 minutes pass with his wound haphazardly bandaged. Fake Sagan remarks on how dizzy he is feeling, but continues to go on his tirades. It is here that a moderator of Blog TV steps in and cuts the broadcast. This stream, or more so the clips of it, made the rounds on YouTube as straight dope covers.
What occurred that night was a truly pathetic display of recklessness and irresponsibility, as Fakey's true colors were brought to the surface by the magic of alcohol.
We're gonna get drunk on camera, and we're going to make fools of ourselves.
By now, most of you have probably seen the segments that have been reproduced on YouTube about 5 dozen times, but now it's time for the straight dope.
FreeSpeechVids, as was its fundraising venture, was an utter failure that went nowhere. That much cannot be said about TJ's channel that was still skyrocketing with his constant uploads on various subjects.
I eat right.
Though TJ did film some skit videos with a focus on food, he was really gravitating towards content satirically criticizing people for their age, food preference, or job. Here is a segment from his video on teens.
Teenage girls are pretty annoying. They're always giggling maniacally at shit that isn't even vaguely fucking funny. Not to mention they dress so slutty, and you're not supposed to look at them. There's a segment in society that if you look at those giant, luscious teenage breasts, will say, oh, you're a pervert and a pedophile, and you're ogling children. Bullshit. Children do not have D-cup tits.
TJ struck gold in this 2011 video.
I fucking started realizing like atheist content was getting stale for me, and I made a video that was entitled "It's Only Sexist When Men Do It," and it was about it wasn't The View, it was like a knockoff version of The View with Ozzy's wife,
I remember that video.
Sharon Osbourne.
Yep.
And it was basically, and I stand by everything I said in the video. I think it was very hypocritical the way they were like celebrating a dude getting his dick cut off and thrown in the garbage disposal. And like, if a bunch of men were sitting around talking about this, you know, a woman's tits being cut off and that done to, you know, people would be horrified.
I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like...
As the title suggests, TJ's main gripe with this video was the double standard in that the hosts were okay with male mutilation as a joke, but not the flip side of things, as one of the co-hosts brings up.
This is why I can't fucking take feminism seriously. I just can't. I can't take it seriously. Because they don't address things like this. They want to talk about the disparities between the genders, but they never want to talk about this shit. They want to pretend like this doesn't exist, or it's all isolated incidences. It's not an isolated incident when an entire audience of women are all laughing about a man getting his dick chopped off when the reverse would never fucking happen.
This video sits as his 8th most popular video, but TJ believes its cultural impact is far more powerful than it leads on.
I don't think that you can find a better catalyst in YouTube history for there being this jumping off point of now there's all this anti-SJW content coming out, you know? I didn't coin the term anti-SJW or SJW for that matter, but I think I invented the genre. And as the inventor of the genre, I have to say I despise the genre at this point.
TJ did start leaning more to, as it were, anti-SJW content, but before that was him being removed from the ThatGuyWithTheGlasses website and Bananagate. His removal from ThatGuyWithTheGlasses website was an inevitability. The fact that the site primarily buried new uploads to promote the nostalgia critic, despite the potential these new uploads may have, influenced TJ to not care about making quality content for the website. However, the last straw for them was a video about the top 10 gayest music videos of the 80s, which the website refused to upload and was a main factor in his removal.
After they wouldn't put that video up, I got even more just like, who gives a fuck? I started missing deadlines left and right. And basically, at some point, I was just called into a meeting with like the head honchos of That Guy with the Glasses, and they told me, you know, your stuff is kind of dark. You do this stuff, The Amazing Atheist, and we feel like it's going to repel advertisers, and we're really more trying to be, you know, a mainstream company, and you're a little bit out there.
TJ's removal was easily overshadowed by Bananagate.
Behold the atheist's nightmare. Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth.
Do you want to see...
I don't want to see anything.
Do you want to see the banana? Like afterward?
No.
How about before?
No.
It's just... Oh, do you want to see the chocolate... He said it's chocolate syrup.
I need to go put in a pizza. Stop it. Ruining my appetite.
Wait, he said it's chocolate syrup though. It's not poop.
He's shoving a banana inside his asshole. Oh my god. This is disgusting. What the fuck?
No!
He's a person.
Shut the fuck up!
He's a person.
That is so gross, dude. I don't want to hear any more about it.
Why can't you just respect that he's an atheist?
Dude, I don't care if he's an atheist or not. What I care about is that...
A video of TJ gripping a banana with more than just his hand was making its rounds on the internet.
A highly personal video of mine leaked onto the internet, and I have no right to complain. Further, the things depicted in the video and photo that leaked are things that I did and enjoyed at the request of a girl that I knew and was talking to at the time. In fact, a girl that I still talk to. I sent it to a few other girls that I talked to on the side, and apparently one of them decided to share it with the world. I don't know who it was, nor do I really care. The things that I did because I enjoy them. I wasn't ashamed of them when I was doing them in private. I see no reason to be ashamed of them now that they've been made public. I mean, let's face it here. I am and always have been a fucking weirdo. 90% of you, if you really thought about it, would have been able to figure out that I was doing some weird shit like this in my spare time in the first place.
That was TJ's response, and this is how the response was essentially received.
Now what? And that's where he stands with his fans, and you know what? He's probably got 10 times more respect from his fans for doing what he did. People that want to act like he's going to be buried for this, people, he did nothing but solidify his fan base and gain more loyalty because of what he did.
This is true. TJ addressed the leaked video phenomenally well. So well that there was a notable jump in subscribers because of it. This goodwill would only last for so long as two events brought things down. The first was his newest attempt at a website known as NotProductive.
What our site is about is bringing you new talent, bringing you people who make videos that are of substantial quality that you've not heard of, that you're not subscribed to. It takes the approach of we are going to filter content and we're going to aggregate it based on its quality. And please, contribute below.
This was influenced by his removal of That Guy with the Glasses.
Well, you know, they don't want me, so I'm just going to do my own different, maybe slightly edgier version of Channel Awesome called Not Productive. And that was a big fucking debacle. Never could put it together, couldn't keep content creators happy for it, couldn't get a fucking functional web page for it, couldn't manage the whole thing. And I didn't know at the time that, you know,
TJ goes on to describe how the overwhelming nature in managing the business side of the website led to its demise. Its failure for him was scarring.
Biggest personal failure I've had on YouTube was my attempt to do the whole Not Productive thing. Pissed a lot of people off because I raised, you know, like 20 grand or something to do it and couldn't get a functional web page together, couldn't get good talent together, just a total miserable fucking failure that was just like a stain on me for a long time, probably still is to this day in some people's eyes, but, you know.
2012 was not off to a good start, and it was bound to get worse because of what he deems was a flame war that spiraled out of control. To start is this clip that exists outside of the flame war, but does explain TJ's thought process.
I was molested as a child. Alright, I said it. As were many other people. And it was only a one-time thing, and I don't feel as though it psychologically damaged me, but the reason I want to talk about it is because now everyone else is going to think that that is the case. That is something that has made me more what I am or whatever. But I don't believe in the victim mentality.
TJ has or had a different approach to those that had a similar thing happen to them. And to that, this flame war begins on the subreddit ShitReddit Says. This subreddit was infamously known for brigading or sending its user base to link comments to downvote or take over the dialogue in other subreddits, as was going on in this post direct by poster I Come When I Kill Men. Here TJ comments, quote, "I love how the whiny feminist morality brigade upvotes a user named I Come When I Kill Men," unquote. It is also important to note that TJ dislikes when people use groups or their beliefs to be authoritarian.
And when these perspectives lay claim to being correct instead of just being one way of looking at things, that is when feminism becomes an authoritarian philosophy. If the variant of feminism in question is a relatively benign notion such as people should all be treated equally and enjoy the same rights and privileges regardless of their sex or of their gender, then I take no issue with that. By that metric, I am and always have been a feminist.
As for the username TJ took issue with, he made a post about it on the men's rights subreddit. But this too was brigaded and currently stands with 0 upvotes and 1,400 comments. As sizable of a number as that is, some of these comments, primarily originating from TJ, have been removed. This string of the most infamous ones can be found archived in their original state on Imgur. This begins with a Reddit user that goes by Lord Ernie, arguing with TJ about triggers and begins escalating with Lord Ernie stating, quote, "Yeah, because you're scum. Also because you're not actually being triggered. Do you know any R-word victim? Statistically, you probably do. Do you happily make R-word jokes around them?" TJ responds, "I will make you a R-word victim if you don't fuck off." TJ then posts again. "That was a joke, by the way. Did it trigger you? I hope it did." Lord Ernie responds, "I already am a R-word victim." And no, it didn't. Thanks though. Hoping that people will relive some of the worst experiences of their lives is pretty cool of you though. Real edgy. TJ then doubles down. "Yeah, well you deserved it. So fuck you. I hope it happens again soon. I'm tired of being treated like shit by you mean little redacted, and then using your R-word as an excuse. Fuck you." TJ goes on to say how he believes the person who committed the R-word deserves a medal, and hopes the victim drowns in certain white fluid, and then goes on to describe the act. Lorderney responds by stating that the person who committed the act was a woman, so some of these descriptions do not fit, and states was not using the act as an excuse, where TJ responds, quote, "No, I'm not mad, I'm just trying to trigger you. It's not working, I guess, so I guess the whole triggering thing is bullshit after all," unquote. There is an additional comment from TJ bringing up this act again and alluding that Lorderney enjoyed remembering it. This string of comments inspired another post on Shit Reddit Says, and was spreading to other subreddits like Worst Of that were equally perturbed at what TJ had written. Quote, "You know, normally I dismiss SRS as a collection of fundamentalist hysterics, but damn, he deserved all of that. Same, I was actually cheering them on for the first time," unquote. TJ, during or after the process of arguing with Redditors, uploaded a video to his channel.
I've spent the last 4.5 hours arguing with feminists on Reddit. Why?
This video was removed, as were TJ's comments that he came to regret. Here he states he was wrong for making those comments and also addresses an article covering them. TJ also apologized to Lorderney in private, stating that what he did was genuinely out of line. Lorderney responds by stating that they would be more willing to accept the apology if it was made in a public space. TJ responds with, quote, "I don't normally let other people bully me into doing whatever they want. Sorry. But a private apology is the best I'm willing to do. I have already publicly stated that what I said was wrong," unquote. Lorderney then posts TJ's apology to Shit Reddit Says. The events labeled as Beard Apocalypse are also summarized in a post on Shit Reddit Says. TJ has gone on to apologize several times for these comments.
I clumsily made an attempt to show my contempt for trigger warnings by saying the most graphically offensive things I could. It was 4 in the morning and I was in the 5th or 6th hour of a massive flame war with radical feminists with names like Kill All Men. The next day, I realized how stupid the things I said were and how easily misinterpreted. And I apologized both to the person I said them to and to the internet at large. The person I said it to said they could only accept my apology if I closed down my YouTube channel and never posted my opinion publicly again. My comments were extremely poorly done, and they overshadowed the point I was trying to make, which is why I have apologized for them not just once, but several times. And I apologize again today, once more, for anyone who has been hurt by these comments. They went too far, and I deeply regret making such statements.
This did influence a dip in subs, as well as continued coverage of what TJ said, but this hardly deterred him from covering the feminists he did not like. Videos demonstrating some of their outrageous actions were making their rounds online.
Recently, there was a bit of a fiasco at the University of Toronto when a group of radical feminists pulled a fire alarm in order to stop a men's rights seminar in progress at the university. The fire alarm then goes off and the feminists cheer like banshees, ecstatic that they've used bully tactics to silence the opposing point of view.
This was hardly all that TJ was covering. Here he is doing a Let's Play. Here he is doing another video covering the Pope. And as seen in some videos, he was advertising his book, Neckbeard Uprising. TJ was even on CNN in 2013.
So the talkback question today, at least the first one, why is atheism on the rise in America? Joining me now to discuss this are William Lane Craig, the founder of reasonablefaith.org, Reverend Markel Hutchins, a civil and human rights activist, and TJ Kirk, who calls himself the Amazing Atheist. Welcome to all of you.
Like, I can't watch my CNN appearance either. I went on CNN because there was like a new poll out that showed that faith was on the decline in America, so they had me on there. But unfortunately, I was supposed to be on 30 minutes, but unfortunately that was the day that fucking Ratzinger resigned or whatever.
TJ's appearance on national television was quite massive, as traditional media outlets hardly ever care for new media figures, especially ones that pour hot oil on themselves. Because another video of TJ, in the same vein of the banana video, had leaked.
How did the oil feel? This is a reference to another of my sex tapes that has leaked. And I'm supposed to feel ashamed, I guess. How did it feel? It felt hot.
TJ did have quite the reputation, as he had now been on YouTube for 7 years.
The people that were big on YouTube, you know, when I first joined up, like, they're just gone now. And the people who were my contemporaries at the time, they're pretty much all gone too. So I don't know why I'm still here, why my channel is still viable. The only explanation I can really come up with...
This was not even TJ's peak. In 2014, he launched the Drunken Peasants podcast with a fan-turned-friend. This podcast was successful in its own right. Even with these successes, TJ was failing to find satisfaction elsewhere. Quote, "I no longer have anything to lose by sharing the story, so I might as well. My audience should understand what is going on in my life. Not everything will make sense immediately, but as you read on, things will become more clear. The first thing I want to show you is a statement regarding an incident that took place on Saturday, November 15, 2014. Unquote. This is from the Amazing Atheist Facebook, a post that is 4,300 words long. It starts with him describing his visit to his trans femme boyfriend Kyle that lives with his parents in an undisclosed town in Kentucky. Here TJ is expressing his and Kyle's want to go to Columbus, Ohio, where TJ's home is. And so, on November 15th, TJ was visiting Kyle and his family with his desire to take Kyle with him. Quote, "When Kyle finally did arrive, he gave me a big hug and I lifted him up into my arms. We helped his mom carry in and put away groceries. Then Kyle and I sat on the living room couch where I proceeded to chat with him, smoke cigarettes, hold him, and play little lovers games with him. He was happy and in good spirits for the most part, though his diagnosed schizoaffective disorder with depression was sometimes apparent. Overall, though, it was clear that he was very happy with my presence. It was around 6:30 through 7 p.m. when Rick returned home from some sort of dispute with a family friend. He seemed to be in good spirits and was jovial." Unquote. TJ then states that Rick, Kyle's father, sent Kyle and his mother to run an errand. Here's where his demeanor changes. Quote, "He said in a very hushed and gravelly tone, 'I looked on the internet and saw some stuff, and I think you are one sick, twisted, evil son of a bitch.' I was caught off guard by this remark, as Rick had hitherto been friendly towards me in all of our meetings and telephone conversations. And you ain't taking that youngin' Kyle anywhere." Unquote. TJ then describes Rick pulling a handgun from his pocket, and if TJ moved too quickly, Rick threatened to put 2 in him. It is then that Rick instructed TJ to leave, and to that extent, leave Kyle and his family alone. TJ then goes on to detail his continued interaction with Kyle's family, and that he was requesting an exchange of items as he had some of Kyle's stuff and Kyle had stuff that TJ bought for him, as well as $140 that he gave them for financial assistance. The story then devolves into lengthy back and forths. TJ is possibly making this post in an attempt to reach Kyle, as it is one of the closing statements. Quote, "I'd like to state as a matter of public record that I love Kyle very much, and that if he ever chose to contact me, I would take him back." Unquote. This all fell apart because of what Rick, Kyle's father, found online. And it isn't a very deep rabbit hole to go down. When typing The Amazing Atheist into the search bar of Google, it will autofill the banana incident. No matter what TJ does, what ideas he puts out into the world or shows his support for, interest always comes back to
a banana.
This is not to say that TJ was not influential in other ways. Both The Amazing Atheist and the Drunken Peasants podcast reached a new peak in around 2016, as TJ was focusing on what he called anti-SJW content that for the past 5 years had always been his most viewed content. He was even using this to raise money for charity.
If we're gonna raise $200,000 for women, let's raise it for women who actually need our help, not a spoiled scam artist looking to bilk the internet for all it's worth.
This was influenced by Anita Sarkeesian's own fundraising that sought to raise funds for her own projects. And TJ's campaign ended up raising $122,000. In a way, this was part of TJ closing this chapter of making anti-SJW content, something influenced by his increased frustration.
Have we reached the point where in some ways anti-SJWs are as bad as SJWs? Recently, I've seen tons of people giving Patton Oswalt shit for being an SJW because he said he was a feminist in his most recent stand-up special. I've seen people giving David Cross shit because in his most recent special he made fun of the anti-PC crowd.
You know, guys, giving comedians shit for telling jokes you don't like, that's not anti-SJW shit. That's SJW shit. Like, my staunch atheism doesn't prevent me from enjoying Johnny Cash singing a gospel song or admiring old religious art like the Sistine Chapel. The fact that I lean left doesn't prevent me from enjoying movies with a right-wing bent like the Dirty Harry films. What a miserable betrayal of the very purpose of art it is when we cannot tolerate any work of art that to even the slightest degree deviates from our own values and beliefs.
Whether or not TJ knew it at this point, he was searching for something else to delve into.
As he states in the song, "This is the new shit. Everything has been said before. Nothing left to say anymore." These lyrics, according to Manson, are the first things written for the album. It's sort of a scary place to begin a new artistic endeavor by admitting to yourself that your bag of tricks is essentially empty, and you're not even sure what you can say that you haven't already said.
That was from video of TJ going over Marilyn Manson. The most important parts are what he sees in the art and how he reflects on them.
You're the Amazing Atheist.
I'm trying to get away from that name, though.
I know,
because you know, I mean, it's not because I'm not an atheist anymore. It's just like I don't fucking know what else to say.
Right. But you're kind of tied into that name, right?
Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to phase it out.
That was TJ on Joe Rogan, episode 746, also in 2016, expressing this same thing, a creative exhaustion with his current style of content. As profitable as it was, he did not want to create videos he was not passionate about, even if there was temptation.
Money in grifting a right-wing audience. And I know that because I felt the temptation. I walked that line a little bit, and it was like, ooh, yeah, wow, I'm getting such a response. And I'm like, but look at what I'm having to do to get it. And a lot of people, I think, just, followed that line of corruption all the way to this point where now people who used to be, or at least came across like moderates, are now like crazed right-wingers who, don't believe in a woman's right to choose or, any of these basic things that I feel like we all used to be pretty much on the same boat on.
After 2016, the anti-SJW genre fell in popularity, and while TJ's ideals had not necessarily changed, along with his creative exhaustion, he was expressing how pointless it all felt.
Passion! Passion! Their outrage machine, the SJW outrage machine, dominates mainstream discourse, and the pushback against them is almost entirely obscure underground bullshit. Some of the alt media, some YouTube channels, some forums. Oh yeah, well, they got the mainstream media in Hollywood and they control the public discourse, but we could go on this internet forum and fucking tell them what for. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. But I do agree that the SJW shit is getting mightily played out, and I do plan to scale it back and find some other things worth delving into. But the focus of what my channel is will always remain the same. I'm gonna take on stupid bullshit wherever I see it.
This is not the only video TJ made like this. And with TJ disillusioned with creating content because of its theme, rather than its message, he was losing viewership.
On June 10th, I uploaded Why Science is Not the New Irrational Religion, which got 10,350 thumbs up, 358 thumbs down, lost 191 subs that day. You know what days I gained subs? June 13th, I gained 104 subs. June 14th, gained 64. You know what I posted those days? Nothing.
TJ, trying to enter a new chapter, changed the name of his channel to TJ Kirk. By the end of 2017, TJ had also separated from the Drunken Peasants podcast, only to announce a new podcast shortly after, known as Deep Fat Fried. And though it is not as successful in terms of YouTube viewership as the Drunken Peasants were, it does have a sizable following of dedicated patrons who are looking to be enlightened by TJ and friends' content.
Shit his pants! Damn, dude.
On his channel, things continue to be as serious.
Today, I would like to talk about the size of Lara Croft's tits.
TJ's tweet and video were covered by several articles. But TJ had always played with fire, and it was something he was used to, just not in the literal sense.
This fire was caused by electrical issues because the electricity in here is faulty. You know, it's been like totally jerry-rigged beyond belief. I think the guy that was our landlord set it up himself. So right now, I don't really have a place to live. I don't have a place to shoot my videos other than just shooting them on this phone.
TJ's house had caught fire due to shoddy wiring. Luckily, the fire did not consume the entire property. These videos and tweets were looked back on when TJ released his video titled, "Enough with the goddamn firefighters already."
When they think of firefighters, always think of them at their best, running into the burning building to save somebody. But how often does that really come up? Usually the firefighter is standing on the sidewalk holding a fucking hose and spraying the flames from a safe goddamn distance. I had a house fire last year and the local newspaper reported that the firefighters that saved our cat, that's this douche, and our iguana. The fucking local newspaper, my house nearly burned to the fucking ground. Firefighters saved it, and I thanked them for it, but the newspaper said they saved our cat and they saved our iguana. Well, first of all, stupid fucking newspaper for idiots. My cat ran upstairs, and the fireman looked at it and was like, eh. So who's the bigger hero? The person risking their life to save my life, or the person risking their life just to get me a fucking meal that I'm too lazy to make for myself? Pizza delivery drivers are the real fucking heroes. And in fact, next time I order a pizza, I'm going to give the pizza guy a $100 tip.
The point that TJ was trying to make with this video is that he finds it strange that with annual fires in the US down, and with the job of a firefighter being turned partially into EMT work and the like, he believes their numbers should be reduced by what he perceives to be the demand.
We've got more and more goddamn firefighters and less goddamn fires. How does that make sense? Demand decreases, but supply increases? Figure that one out, because I can't. Most of what firefighters do now is respond to medical emergencies.
TJ is not always taken entirely seriously.
Hello, I'm the Joker. I'm Donald Trump.
But in this case, he was more so because of the information he failed to find.
In fact, did you know since 1985 that fire department call volumes have tripled and responses to hazardous materials have quadrupled? Not to mention the fact that, did you know that fires are spreading 8 times faster than they did 50 years ago and producing 200 times more smoke?
This response comes from the channel Fire Department Chronicles, a channel that boasts a sizable 4.3 million subscribers compared to TJ's million that he hit in February of 2021. Only this was the second time it happened. The first was when he was gaining subscribers in 2016. This does not mean TJ was entirely against this. He was uploading far less than he was back then and was making videos that he preferred to make even though he knew they wouldn't get as much viewership. The same goes for his written works.
Yeah, and you said you're working on a novel. What's your novel about? Fiction, nonfiction?
Yeah, I mean it's called Sex Bot Uprising. it's a space pseudo-intellectual space smut.
Overall, TJ was being more explorative of himself, even if he did not know what that was.
36 years into my existence, I really don't know what I am, what I believe, what I stand for. I want to paint more. I want to draw more. I want to write my novel.
This is likely what influenced TJ's stint of wearing face paint and makeup for some videos.
Oh yeah! Ooh, motherfucker! I feel it! I fucking feel that shit! Yeah.
Cool. Where TJ was once pulling in millions of views a month, he now barely breaks 500,000 a month. And while views are a fair metric of success on YouTube, TJ, with his near 2 decades on the platform, has grown less interested with that metric. Instead, he finds joy in other things.
I posted a tweet where I was like, pregnant men, girl dicks, pregnant men, girl dicks. Just bait for the chuds. This little bait tweet was going to hook the queen of the turfs herself, J.K. motherfucking Rowling. And even better than that, she found out about the fucking banana video. People keep telling me about the banana. I had no need or wish to know about the banana. Oh my God. I have peaked. This is it. It's not gonna get any better than this.
This, in many ways, captures TJ's legacy as it stands and as he understands it. His videos are a combination of serious ideologies combined with an absolute silliness that can distract from the conversation depending on what a viewer wants to see. In virtually every thread discussing or looking back on TJ, there will always be comments dissecting his politics and grander messages. And then there will be a comment talking about the banana that gets more attention. Like a yellow boomerang, it always comes back to insert itself in the conversation. And either depiction TJ seems fine with, which is possibly the best stance, as the banana and TJ will never be separated.